What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
But not so much. Let's start studying the question with the headlight design. It is often said that it sweats because it has lost tightness. This is partly true, but here is the paradox: the headlight is not completely airtight from the beginning. And here's the reason why. Inside any headlight, halogen, lead, xenon, there is a bulb which heats up when it works. The halogen bulb heats up the most, of course, but the others don't stay cool either. If the headlight were completely airtight, it would simply burst from the air expanding when heated. That's why there are ventilation valves in the headlight assembly. Most often they are just breathers with foam filters, sometimes a valve with a diaphragm. When heating the air through the valve or breather goes out, after turning off the headlights in the process of their cooling, the air is sucked back into the headlight. This process is unavoidable, otherwise the headlight simply cannot exist. In the case of halogen lamps, which are very hot during operation, the volume of circulating air is larger, while with xenon and lead lamps it is smaller. But it is always there. In dry hot weather with low air humidity, the headlamp will not sweat in the process of such forced ventilation. But in humid weather, and even in cold, when the temperature difference is greater, a slight misting is inevitable. By and large, moisture inside the headlight is condensate, which falls out when a cold headlight is heated. And that's normal. Moreover, on some cars, headlight fogging will always be more noticeable. The thing is that ventilation through valves is not a perfect thing. It cannot provide complete air circulation through the entire internal volume of the headlight. And since designers all over the world are working on making as many sharp corners and nooks in a modern headlight as possible, to stretch it along the body as much as possible, fogging of poorly ventilated corners and stretched fragments of these extremely beautiful headlights is inevitable. However, there are positive aspects here. Hot halogens are slowly dying out, and modern LED headlights during operation almost do not heat up. Theoretically, they should sweat less. The second positive moment is the desire of engineers to do at least something good, expressed in the device inside the headlights. Containers with silica gel, which absorbs moisture. Otherwise, sometimes it is simply impossible. An acute corner of a headlight always sweats strongly, and if it is directed downwards, it will sweat just indecently because of the peculiarity of airflow direction. Gel partially corrects this situation. Still, sweating is inevitable, and you should not be afraid of it. In frost, condensate can even freeze on the inside of the glass, plastic, of the headlight, which makes the glass covered from inside with a beautiful icy pattern. This is not a cause for panic. The reason arises when there is too much water. It is not airtight after all. It's hard to believe, but when designing headlights, their creators take very seriously the organization of air flows for the necessary ventilation. And if extraneous factors interfere with their calculations, the ventilation stops working properly. Extraneous factors are anything that can allow air to either enter the headlight past the filter or diaphragm, or anything that prevents it from exiting freely. Let's start with the former. The first is, of course, physical damage to the headlight. Cracks on the block body, on the glass, destruction of sealant, even just a strong drying due to old age. All this leads not only to air suction past the filter, but also to simple leaks. That is, water gets into the headlight at once. Everything is obvious here. It happens that someone, when replacing bulbs, does not want to install the back cover normally. Of course, the headlight will also sweat after that. Even wear and tear of this cover, its broken clips, or just a lot of dirt on the adjacent surface, this is also a cause of headlight sweating. The cover must be intact and clean. A less obvious but very common cause is a dirty vent valve. If water can be squeezed out of the foam or the diaphragm has given up on life, the air in the headlamp will always be too moist. And this is a direct path to a lot of condensation. And the last thing is silica gel, which has served its time. Theoretically, it lasts a long time. But in humid climates it is better to change it occasionally. Now let's move on to what prevents air from escaping freely from the headlight when it heats up. There is only one reason: said state of drainage, breather, foam or membrane. It is rare, but everything is possible in this life. So what to do with a fogged headlight? Washing, drying and care. First of all, there is no need to get upset about a little fogging. As I said before, it is inevitable and quite normal. Especially in the case of halogen headlights with complex shapes. If only the corners sweat, it's not a big deal. Secondly, if the headlight sweats a lot and does not dry out completely in half an hour of work, you should make sure that it is intact. There are no cracks on it, the back cover is in place and fits tightly to the body. If everything looks fine, it's a good idea to remove and dry the headlight and then put it in water with the glass down. Further, it is clear, water should not get inside in any way. If it does get there, you will have to carefully remove the glass, and this is not always easy because all modern headlamps are not. Disassembled and change the sealant. There is no other way. If everything is in order, it makes sense to check the ventilation. The foam, if any, should be clean and dry. The membrane should be intact and clean. Most likely, the cause will be poor ventilation. If you have silica gel in your headlights, you can just put an extra bag of it inside the headlights. It can remedy the situation a bit even if there are some ventilation problems that are too lazy to solve in the normal way. The main thing is to put it in such a way that you can then get it out of the headlight without disassembling it. You can try to reanimate old silica gel by burning it on a frying pan. Sometimes it helps, but the meaningfulness of this manipulation, provided that the material costs a penny, is questionable. In general, you can dry not only the gel, but also the headlight itself. Sometimes in the wet season will be useful to arrange headlights drying, but for this it is desirable to have a warm garage. In the rain or snow will not be useful. But in the garage you can remove the rear covers of headlights and turn on the light for about 30 minutes. During this time the headlights should dry out. Just do not forget to put the covers back in place. Without them, fogging will only become stronger and inside the headlight will accumulate dirt. Can you do that? Can you ignore this fogging and drive safely on? You can, but not for long. At least because the light will be refracted incorrectly and therefore the headlight will not be able to work properly. Then, over time, the reflective layer on the reflector will start to fade and even peel off, and then the wiring and all the electrical components of the headlight will start to corrode. And it will burn out completely or simply short circuit. This is not a good prospect, so the problem will have to be solved in a human way. Maybe there is a way to delay the repair time. It's a matter of luck. If the weather outside is wet and cold, nothing is too effective. You can, of course, put more silica gel, but if the situation is neglected, it will not save it. In dry weather, you should not wash the car until the headlights have cooled down. It is better to turn them off in advance, then drive to the car wash so there will be less condensation inside. Scotch tape is also suitable as a temporary measure against housing defect. You can glue a small crack with it, but all this is half measures. Still, good light is a guarantee of safety, so you should not postpone headlight repair. At some point you will have to solve the problem radically, and it is better to do it quickly. In conclusion, understanding why headlights sweat during cloudy weather and potential precipitation is essential for maintaining optimal visibility and safety on the road. By recognizing the factors that contribute to condensation, such as temperature changes and humidity levels, you can take proactive steps to mitigate the issue. Regular maintenance, including checking seals and ensuring proper ventilation, can help prevent moisture buildup. If you do encounter foggy headlights, simple solutions like using a microfiber cloth or a specialized headlight restoration kit can restore clarity. Stay informed and prepared, and you'll ensure a safer driving experience, no matter the weather conditions. Thank you for watching, and drive safely.